Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel and to my Halloween marathon. And tonight, I'm going to be reviewing Willy's Wonderland. Um, I had this on my list for a while, ever since it first came out. Mostly because it's basically Five Nights at Freddy's, just with Nic Cage in it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit disappointed in it. I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be like a god tier fantastic film, but I feel like I was still let down a bit. Not by Nic Cage kicking ass, that came in spades in here, but just everything else. Like, I don't know if it was just from like what I was watching it on, because I saw the movie on Hulu, but it seemed like the production value was just so low for this film. Like, for instance, like almost every shot that I saw in this film, and I don't know if this was because of the lighting or the camera angles or the editing or what, but it looked like it was like a student fan film. And actually, I think that actually might be the lighting, because the lighting itself, I don't know if it was just so bright or whatever, but like, I swear I could see like the makeup on basically everyone's faces, especially the kids. And it wasn't the kind of thing where like, oh, someone character is supposed to wear makeup, so obviously you're gonna see it. Like, no, I swear, like, I could see the foundation and the lipstick or lip gloss or whatever that the kids were wearing, and it just looked weird, especially in the daytime scenes. The and speaking of those daytime scenes, that's where the shots looked the worst, where it looked like too bright and yellow, and again, it looked like it was from a fan film that, honestly, if I had to compare it, it looked like something that I have seen out of a 48-hour film festival. Um, the audio and the dialogue, it was all over the place. Sometimes it sounded too loud, and sometimes it sounded too soft, and sometimes it sounded like it was like poorly rendered ADR. The writing itself was bad. Like the acting was just awful, but the lines were worse. Like, where people were stating the obvious, and they were saying things that like no one would say, like in real life, or like they were repeating, or they were repeating information that they had just said, right? The backstory is interesting enough about how Willy's Wonderland was made by basically Satanists, where they killed families and kids, sacrificed on Satan, and then when the police discovered them, instead of like willing to surrender to the police, they all committed mass suicide by basically drinking the Kool-Aid like Jonestown, and then transferring their souls into the animatronics. So basically, it was like a mix of Five Nights at Freddy's with Chucky. Um, that part was cool, and the parts where Nic Cage is like just beating the shit out of the animatronics, those are cool too. Especially when he splatters their robot bodies, and like black oil just sprays everywhere as if it's blood. That stuff is cool. But the fact that they decided to make Nic Cage a mute in this movie, I think kind of takes away from his performance, because like he can't really do that crazy Nic Caginess that he's kind of known for, like from the movie Face Off, where he goes like, "I want his face off," like that. Or like in the movie that just came out last year, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where he's constantly like going completely crazy and like screaming how he's Nic fucking Cage, right? But here, like, I mean, there's a little bit of kookiness to him about how like he goes on breaks at the weirdest of times. Like, um, there's a scene where he's about to fight the one of the animatronics named Cammy the Chameleon, I think, and then suddenly his watch goes off to signal that he's on break. So he literally just leaves before he starts fighting her, and then after the fight is over, then he kicks her ass. So there's a little bit of that in there, and then during his final break in the film, he does this like weird crazy dance while he's playing pinball. So there's still a little bit of Nic Cage craziness in there, just not much as it would if he was actually speaking. The kills were brutal, I will give it that. There are some times where like it just looks too fake and CGI, but that's just par for the course with the rest of this movie. Which, speaking of, when the shots don't look like it's from a fan film, then it looks like it's from a music video, especially with like the glare just constantly in almost every single shot. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on this because there are a few good scenes, like the song about like it's your birthday and we want you to have fun. That's pretty good. It's catchy as hell. I mean, it's honestly up there. In my opinion, it's up there with the Clown Cafe song from Terrifier 2, with how much of an earworm it is. But again, it feels like it's constantly overshadowed by all the bad stuff that I just mentioned. So I don't know. I thought I'd like this more than the Five Nights at Freddy's film, but there's just so much in this that I just dislike. The only thing that it has going for it is just Nic Cage being like a silent version of himself and just beating the crap out of robots. So between the two, I'd probably still watch Willy's Wonderland over the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but I'd say it's a pretty close margin. But I don't know, if you're not expecting like a masterpiece film, then like definitely check this out. Like maybe when you're just drinking and having fun with your friends. But other than that, like I could see this being like a cult classic in time, but nothing else much for that. But anyway, that was my thoughts on Willy's Wonderland, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another Halloween movie review. Bye, everyone.